But this candle, I'm going to sell it again on the retrace. The way to trade these big candles is to trade them on the retrace, because the establishment of the move, and boom, you can see that got done very quickly, was legitimate. Again, this is a great example of bad execution, right? I had not a setup of hours, sell signal, momentum signal. You never want to sell momentum at the bottom. You want to sell it on a retrace. When you have just put a buy in DAX at 77, which would be like just a little bit above here. And if it triggers me, what's the high over here? 70. So yeah, I mean, this should be, I should actually, sorry, I'm going to take this back. This, I think, did beat the high of this candle. So we should be in the trade. So I'm going to give myself this trade in the DAX, which is kind of a standard setup trade. Let's see if we get a little bit, positive price action going up here. But I'm not holding my breath. Okay, so that worked good. So that was, again, good indication of like, let's not screw around. Let's take our setup. We had the setup. I misjudged. The reason why I canceled the automatic and went manual is because many times in my experience, I have seen when you preset your, let's just sort of get big here and I'll show this to you. So what happened is I preset my manual too high. It was, I was late in presetting it up and I wasn't really fully accurate in setting it up. So I set it too high. So this thing actually physically beat the high. And if I waited for this one, I would have already been in an inferior position with a smaller possibility for profit and a worse possibility for reward. Which is why I manually canceled my preset and I went I went straight up market into the trade, because the trade was a legitimate trade, right? So everybody understands that. And by doing that, I minimized being offsides. I minimized my error by being as close as possible to the true entry, and therefore, getting the profit that I needed. So again, that's from the School of Hard Knocks. I learned that a lot. But this is the kind of techniques you want to use if you're trading the setup. There, least accurate way of trading. But if you like doing it and if you're good at it, it's really, not only is it fun, but is it profitable, because I just continuously make money out of it. But you really need to have a feel for it. That I can't teach this. You need to have a feel for it, which is what I call the mean reversion in only to the downtrend. In other words, it's basically my version of buy the effing dip on a 1 minute chart. If I have usually certainly I need to have one weak candle, right? Which means it's a buy candle in a downtrend. But generally I want to have two weak candles appear, because that means the buyers have kind of like let me just sort of explain to you, because we may be getting a setup. So we have two buy candles. Now I'm looking for just a green candle to form. If I can see buyers forming on here, I will take this trade to the upside, because the idea here is that the selling climax is kind of done. It is a dangerous trade to make, because you're going to make a lot of, there'll be a lot of false bottoms. There's a lot of false positives that come up. But if you kind of watch the price action for a long time and you get a good feel for for the reversal price action. So we've got 18, 17 seconds. Like, this is a decent buy candle, right? I will watch this. If this can hold, and the key thing is it's got to hold. The most important technique carryover from what we do in the other way is we're going to buy this. We're going to buy this at 55. And like, I will very often just trade this for 5. Okay, oops, it's closed. Okay, so it's done. And you can see how fast and clean this is, right? And why do I do this? Like, why do I, love to trade buy the dip structures? Because if you've noticed, the stock market is an incredibly